Hi Erica, how are you? This is John Farrell, and this is your swim technique review video. I do apologize that there's a little bit of background noise because I got a couple fans going on in the garage tonight. It's a little bit warm, so I hope that you will bear with me with this. So I've reviewed your footage, and I think there's a couple things that we can point out that I can point out. And not only that, I'm going to diagram to you, give you a little sneak peek of the stream for Tuesday night. There's something that I've kind of realized in terms of swim technique, and a lot of this has to do with physics. So I actually have my whiteboard down here, and we're going to diagram this out, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But I think I've finally figured out one of the biggest differences between, I guess, lower tier. I mean, because I view things in tiers. In the sport of swimming, we have time standards: C, B, A, AA, AAA, Q. Now they've changed them to colors, garbage. I don't even know. But anyway, so you were ranked based on your times, and the difference between a C-ranked swimmer and an A-ranked swimmer were definitely different. And I'm kind of starting to realize a trend with swimmers that are definitely in the lower tier. This is obviously not making fun of you, but this is just fact. This is based off of footage that I've seen, basing it on their time per 100. I think there's a really huge difference, and we're going to diagram it out. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll one of your footage, one of your shots that you sent me. And by the way, these are great shots. These are really good shots. Thank you very much. There's a lot that I can see. Really good conditions for filming. So, okay, so let me pull you up. I'm going to pop you up right there. There. I always forget left, right, reversal. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is kind of the lightning round. This is where I'm just going to start throwing out things that I see. Don't take all the notes now. This is just things that I'm seeing overall. So yes, your right arm and your left arm recover differently. Not really that huge of a difference. You say that you have a leg splay, which you do, but it's not really that significant. I wouldn't personally worry that much about it. But definitely the underwater pull is where you're losing a lot of forward momentum. And there's a main reason why, and we're going to talk about that first. Overall, not too bad. Your breathing technique is very good. Your body rolls with your head. Your head rolls with your body, which is really good technique. Sorry, a moth almost just flew up my nose. That was disgusting, and I do apologize. So yeah, your breathing technique is very good. Let's pull up another one real quick. We're gonna go back to that last one. So one of the things that you mentioned that you were worried about is that your left arm recovers straight and your right arm is bent. The truth be told, let me just put this one to bed first. Truth be told, for distance swimming, how you recover doesn't matter. How you recover doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is you're developing a huge muscle imbalance. The muscles required to bring your hand over here and your hand over here are vastly different. Open arm, you're going to be using a lot more of your ligaments. Here, you're just kind of using the natural rotation. I've seen arguments for both in terms of why you want to have your elbow high during your recovery and why you actually want to have a straight arm recovery. The only thing is you don't want to have your arm... Here, let me pull you back up. So your arm is a little high for a straight arm recovery. Usually, if you want to do a straight arm recovery, come on, go away. You want to be out here. You want to be out here. You're a little up here. And the reason why I would say this kind of needs to be fixed is that when you're up here, you have this gravity component pushing you down. When you're out here, the gravity component is a little less severe. And not only that, you kind of crank your shoulder coming up this way as opposed to being here. You can be a little more flat in the water. The only other thing that I want to look at, I didn't really notice this, but let me see here. Okay, so you're really soft. You're really soft on the entry in the water, which is actually really good, really good. So what's happening is you're avoiding splashing water. You're not chopping into the water, shooting water off to the sides, and that's what I'm looking for right here in this area. So if I hit play again, there's very little water, very little splashing going on, which is great. That is just about perfect in terms of placing your hands in the water. What you really want to avoid is splashing, which you do masterfully, okay? So what I want to do, though, is I want to go back to this one. And what we're going to do is I'm going to find a frame here. Right here, okay? So we're going to focus in on this portion of your stroke, okay? So here's my whiteboard. Say hello, whiteboard. So, okay, so what's happening is your arm goes down and forward, okay? Now, I'm fully willing to state, okay, this is just a little bit of the angle of the camera, but and the other reason why I say is there's a really big separation between your shoulder and your neck. And your rotation's okay. Your rotation's okay. You get about a little bit above 45 degrees, which is actually really good for a lower level swimmer. Being able to rotate those shoulders about 45 degrees. You see the hip placement. Your legs are stacked pretty good. We'll talk about legs in a second. But you say that you use your legs mainly for rotation and kind of more for stabilization, keeping your body. That's actually really good. That's really good because your legs are actually being used for something rather than just wiggling. And I can tell you're getting a little bit out of your legs. Not too much, but more than some I've reviewed. So let's go. Right here. Okay. So, right now, your hand is a little bit here. Okay? All right? So what should be happening in this moment is that let me show you what's happening and then we'll diagram it out. So what should be happening is you are here and you should be getting to about here. Okay? You should be getting to about here and then pulling all the way back. So here and then pulling all the way back. So what's happening though, is you're about right about, you know what, hold up. You're about here, okay? So you're here and then you're about here. All right? So we're gonna advance it just a hair. Okay? So pull. So right here. Your elbow is behind your hand. Okay? Right here. Your elbow is behind your hand. And if we keep going, still behind. Now your hand's finally behind your elbow. Okay? This is important, and this is going to be the main topic of next week's stream. So let's diagram this out, okay? Here's my lovely whiteboard. All right. So we are a box, okay? Our box wants to move forward in the water, okay? This box wants to move forward by making water go backwards, all right? And the way this box moves forward is it has arms, idealized as a stick, okay? So as this stick rotates this way, all right, it's shedding water down this way, all right? You see this? You see this? So it's like taking this in the water and just going, boom. All right? It's going to shoot water backwards. Okay? So what happens is we're going to take away this. Okay? So what happens is this stick has an elbow. All right? And then as this elbow moves this way, water goes down the arm and down the hand. Okay? So notice the overall direction is backwards. Okay? Now, your main propulsion is getting this arm this way. Okay? Your main thing is pulling the arm backwards. All right? But there is a significant component to this part. All right? That is the part from your elbow to your hand. So this is very small and idealized. All right? So what we're ugh, that's garbage. Hold up. Gotta get a better. Sorry. These markers haven't been used for a while. All right. Oh, and that's just not that much better. Lovely. All right. So the whole key that we're trying to do is we're trying to avoid this. Okay? Yep. We want to avoid this. We want to avoid our hand out here, our body here, and our elbow moving forward. Okay? So then as this arm goes backwards, the water is going to shoot forwards. All right? So what this does is you are trying to move forward by pushing water backwards. Okay? So this has a vector component of down and forward. Okay? This is the basics of vectors. Okay? Just like in Despicable Me 2, you had vector, direction, and purpose. Yeah, that guy was a dork. But anyway, so vectors is pretty much a diagonal line of force. Okay? I know, you didn't know you were getting a physics lesson, but by golly, you're getting a physics lesson. So the whole goal is to minimize the product moving this way, minimize, and then maximize everything going backwards. Okay? So the difference is between that and this is that these arrows, everything is going backwards, but these arrows are moving in the direction that you want, and these arrows are not. Okay? So this is actual physics. There's actual science behind this. And what we're talking about here is the difference between your hand pulling like this and this. Okay? This. Here as opposed to here. All right? So, you're kind of about here. You pull about here. We want to get to here. Here. Okay? So we want to shunt the water down the arm and forward. Okay? So now I probably lost you, but I will bring this back, I promise. Okay. There's a lot of talk in swimming about high elbows, and I used to think high elbows meant your hand was below, your elbow was above your hand when you pull. Okay? Actually, I need to stand up again. I always thought, and I'm totally messing up my pile of stuff on myself. So the idea was, I thought that you want your hand above your elbow instead of like here. So it's something weird. Okay, you want nice high elbows instead of flat elbows when you're pulling down here. High elbows. Okay, but what it actually is elbows are kind of in front of your hand as you're pulling back, okay? We want to get about here. You know, you try to get your elbows as in line or in front as possible. And the other big thing too is your hand positioning. As this, where water is shunting forward, as opposed to this, where you're grabbing that brick more and you're pushing that water behind you, okay? So now we're going to bring this all back to what I'm seeing with your stroke, all right? Let me pull that up just a little, just a hair. Okay, so what I'm seeing with your stroke is that you're a little bit here, okay? Your hand is in front of your elbow. You want to try, in that initial pull, get to about here, and then push everything back, okay? 2 keys to work on. Number 1, your chin is right by your shoulder, and your shoulders are actually rolled forward. You want to roll that shoulder forward. That will get that elbow up into that position. Here, back, here, back, here, back, here, back, here, back. All right? So we don't want to pull backwards with our elbow. That's the number one thing we want to avoid. And we don't want to just pull with our hands either, just pull. We want to pull with the arms. Okay? So the idea is you're kind of like rowing. You're rowing with your arms. You're using your whole arm together in order to pull. Now, this will get you, so you're already a sub 2, which is actually really good compared to some of the others that I've seen. But if you want to get down to where you can comfortably go a 145, and when you're pushing it, you're going 135, work on using that arm. And the way you do that is, number 1, you tense your entire arm, okay? So if you see right here, I'm kind of flexing both my bicep and my tricep at the same time. This will get your hand in the right position. I also see your arms are kind of pulling somewhere around here, okay? Somewhere outside the body. It's like trying to do pull-ups all the way out here. It's very strange and doesn't work well, okay? And honestly, the easiest way I found to kind of get your arm in the right position is let your arm go straight and then flex everything to where it gets about 90 degrees. So just let your arm hang, flex, okay? Because if you're only bicep, you'll go up to here, okay? So you need to flex both tricep and bicep, okay? Pop. Get right in here, okay? So then, when you're here and you rotate down, just let that hand go a little bit loose, and you'll be right about here, okay? Right about here, underneath the body. So you are going to engage, pop, right here. Engage, follow through, okay? I had to move my arm in order to get my arm past the body, my hand in order to get my arm past the body. But you're here, follow through, okay? So right through here, okay? So the initial is your hand gets in the water here, okay? Start here, all right? So you start with your hand, engage, pop, okay? Right here, you should be at about 90 degrees or a little bit more. Technically, you should be about 110. 110 is about here, somewhere here. That's why whenever I teach people and on the swim video, you go here to your belly button, okay? To about your belly button will get you about 90 degrees. A little bit below your belly button, about if your thumb, my belly button is right here, okay? So if my thumb is right about there, that is roughly the position, and then scoot it out to where your middle finger is in line with your belly button, okay? Belly button is just a nice point of reference. Because then when you're here, you're about here. You're here, 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 here. Okay? So number one, tighten up those hands, tighten up those arms. Okay? Tighten up those arms, engage, engage. Okay, something that will also really help. I'm trying to see if I have anything that could help. Okay, we're gonna go down. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm right here. Okay. So something that will help is pushing yourself up with a desk. Okay. So you need to learn how to grab here. Okay. So if you squat down, this is going to look really silly, but I swear this will help. So you're going to pop down to here. Okay. So right about chest height. Right about chest height, you should be about here. Okay. And then work to use those muscles to push yourself up. Okay? So if you're about here, get up to about your elbow. Get up to about your elbow and push. Push up. And then you're going to grab to the other side, push up. So what this is going to do is this is going to really help you start working on engaging the muscles. So this will really start helping you engage the muscles, engage everything in this motion. All right? Because right now your hand is pulling a little bit like this. We want it to be about here. Okay? About here would be preferable. All right? So notice this shoulder as I rotate my elbow up above my hands, my shoulder is more close from here. Then you disengage that shoulder, get to the next shoulder, push down, engage. All right? So when you're about 50% of the way through your pull, that's when you should lower the shoulder. Okay? So I want you to see right now, I'm shrugging right here. If my elbow dips, my shoulder dips. Okay? So if you're pulling here, if you're pulling a lot with your shoulders instead of your arm, you're going to feel this difference. You're going to feel that difference here. So just take your arm here, shoulder up, shoulder down. So now you don't want to pull like this. This is going to feel very, very weird. But you're going to be pretty close to your shoulder. You're going to be pretty close to your shoulder. Okay, you see here? See here? That's up. So you're going to be here all the way down. Okay? So try and work on just kind of visualizing and learn how to pull everything down. Okay? But here's the other kind of concept too. I also think you're not finishing your stroke that way. No, you're kinda. Okay, so you got to hitch. You got to hitch mid-stroke. Yep. Yep. Okay, so that's another issue. I will and there. And foot pop. And foot pop. And foot pop. Okay, so you have a little bit of a hitch with your left arm. Let me see if you do it with your right arm. Yeah, your right arm is a little bit smoother. Your right arm is a little bit smoother than your left arm. Okay, so what's happening with that part is your right arm is pulling all the way through, but then your left arm gets to about here, and then you kind of go whoop. Okay, there's a definite acceleration between the first half and the second half of the pull. When you pull, you want everything to be very constant, because the instant you stop, that is the instant you lose the pressure. Okay? Remember back in our diagram? We're constantly trying to move water this way by pushing the water that way. When you stop, there's nothing. Okay? When your arm stops, this component goes away. Okay? So your arm stops and then it starts again. What that also does is that creates a little bit of a muscle imbalance because you're starting and you're accelerating yet again. Let me double check my phone. Okay, we're good. So pull through and accelerate, pull through. Well, accelerate in terms of like accelerate. So constant accelerate, it's constant velocity, instantaneous acceleration at the beginning. I'm sorry, I'm getting too far into physics weeds. You want your speed of your pull to be consistent. There you go. You want a consistent pull. You want to be able to pull back, pull back, pull back. You want the arms to be continuously moving back, because you don't want to here and then there. You don't want to. That doesn't do anything for you except make you tired. Okay, so let's spend the last few minutes talking about legs. So as you said, your legs aren't doing too much, and the main reason is because you're not getting enough separation. You're mainly kicking from the knees down. You get a little bit of upper leg movement, not really too much. Here, you can see it more on these ones. So, and also another thing I see is you barely get your heels above the surface maybe once every full stroke. Right there and right there. Okay, but that's mainly because of your hip rotation. So your right heel actually never breaks the surface in this particular shot. So then you're showing your. Oh, hold up! I just now saw this. I didn't notice this before, but you're actually reaching over with your right arm. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Hold up. Hold up. I'm sorry. New evidence here. Not too bad. Okay. One other thing about the recovery. So here, let me show you this right now. And there. Okay. So right there, your hand enters the water pretty close to your face, and then you're actually pushing forward with that hand. So you're pushing forward with that hand, and your elbow is a little bit low in that push forward, okay? So let's go back to our diagram. Okay, so get rid of all of this. Oh man, this stuff really smudges. I don't like that. Anyway, these markers are not that great. Okay, so when you got water level, okay, your arm is moving in this direction, right? Your elbow is here, then there. All right. So when you shoot that arm forward, you have this tiny component. You have this tiny component moving forward as well. You're pushing water forward every single time. Now, this is a moment of clarification. If you actually watch YouTube videos, you'll actually see people get their hands in here, and then you see them shoot forward. But one thing that you will notice is they have high elbows, and the amount that they push forward is not much, because their hands are on their side. Their hands are on their side, they're putting it in here, and they're shooting it straight for the camera, and they're coming in here. Right here, you put your hand in, and then you push forward underneath the water, and everything just kind of sinks down, and then you rotate forward. So what happens for you is with your right arm, you come in, you sink down, and then you rotate forward, okay? So if you want to do it, keep that elbow up and shoot forward like this, okay? Personally, I recommend that when people finish their recovery, their hand is here, baby seal, right here. So then they're ready to pull right into that next pull. So okay. So now getting back to the kick. What you need to do is you need to do the two exercises I pretty much recommend to everyone, and both of these are done on dry land. Well, there's 3 exercises, 2 on dry land, 1 in the water. Once again, I'm actually selling some bike components, so I have them all laid out behind me. So we're gonna move this down, okay? So this will be the last thing that we talk about on the video. So what you want to do is you want to lay on the ground, get your feet forward, and work on kicking just like this. You can do this in a chair, okay? A little bit easier on the abs. Kind of get your glutes right near the edge of the chair. try and point your feet. Try and point your feet and kick just like this. Very straight knees. Very straight knees. We want to kick just like this. And we only want about a foot separation between the top and the bottom. Okay? So we want to kick just like this. All right? You can do this in a chair or do this on the ground. Okay? Really, really good ab exercise right here. Okay? Now, the other thing that you should do, let me actually pull this down even more. Hold up. Watch your ears. Okay. The other thing that you should do is do it on your tummy. Okay? You're on your belly. Right here. Okay? Superman's. You put your arms out here, and then you kick. So what you're doing is you're extending back, pointing your toes, and then you're lifting your leg as one single entity. Okay? I'm very flexible, but you only need to get about up here. About a foot, 9 inches to a foot off the ground. And you just want to flutter, just like this. Okay? Couple rounds of 30 seconds, just while you're binging some YouTubes or some Netflixes or stuff like that. Just pop, 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 pop. So remember, the reason why we want to do this is we want to get the stiffness. We want to engage our whole leg. Now, we're going to do one more sesh on the whiteboard. So oh, no, don't do that. So the way we kick is we have our leg here, okay? So we move our leg down, right? Now our leg is not a stick. It is kind of a rectangle, okay? I'm being nice and idealized here. So our leg is a rectangle, okay? It has a width, okay? It has a width. And as this width pushes down, it shoots water behind us, okay? And it shoots it the whole length. That whole length, it pushes water behind us. So now what's going on is you and every other person that kicks with their knees, okay? This doesn't move, and this part goes down. So this is greatly reduced. All right? The difference is you have much more area that you are pushing down. It's like you're trying to fan yourself with a fan that's got a wobbly joint in the middle of it. Like, it's not going to be that effective because you're cutting this area in half. This part does not get used. All right? So then the other part about the splaying, your splaying is not that bad, trust me. But it still needs to be corrected, and there's a reason why. So you are this box, okay? Your legs come out of this box, all right? So let's say this is your profile, all right? So if you took your topmost dimension and your bottommost dimension and shoot straight lines back, that's your profile, okay? If you shoot your leg outside of this profile, you're stopping your forward progress. So you're trying to move this way. This part is holding you back. Okay? This is friction force. This is stopping force. This is stopping you from moving forward. Okay? That's why when we are swimming, we got our box again, okay? We got our profile. That's why we want to try and keep our legs within this profile. So the more out you go, it's like wearing a jacket on a blustery day, and the wind is just blowing into that jacket, and it's just pushing you back, and it makes it very hard to walk forward. So that's one of the reasons why we want to avoid splaying the legs out. By the way, if you wouldn't mind, Please let me know if you actually understand what I'm drawing on the whiteboard. This is a completely new thing I'm trying. This is one of the reasons why I do these things for free. Because I like to try new things. I like to try and see if different ways of teaching make more sense to some and less to others. I don't know. I've been doing private coaching for 5 years, but mainly it's been for younger age groupers, kind of between the 10 and 16 range. So I'm starting to work with adults, doing triathlon, swim technique training. Please, any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So that's about it. So that's about it for kind of the major points that I'm looking at. Very easy to fix is going to be the legs. Legs will be very easy to fix. Just work on engaging those muscles, learn how to use those whole muscles, and then when you get in a pool, grab a kickboard. I recommend just grabbing a kickboard straight, putting their head in. By the way, Team Zoot are making kickboards, pool buoys, and signal buoys, the little swim buoys that you attach to your waist, and they got the big orange buoys. So yeah, so pick up a kickboard. Kickboards are lovely. I very much recommend kickboard. Pool buoy, I personally use a kickboard as a pool buoy, and I cross my ankles, and I love it. But anyway, you want to hold your kickboard out here and put your head in between the board, and then kick, 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 kick. So what you're really focusing on, and the other reason why you want to do this, it's very easy to reach, just push, take a breath, bring it back down, and kick, okay? Especially when you're starting to learn this kicking technique, because at first it's going to feel very strange. What you literally want to do is not bend your knees. Do not bend your knees and use your whole leg to kick. You're using your hips, engaging the hips, moving your legs up and down. Literally, when I am really kicking, I barely bend my knees at all. Even when I'm racing, I don't really bend my knees. So I very much so recommend not bending your knees, because that increases the stiffness, gives you a lot more out of your legs for the same amount of movement. So yeah, so that's going to be it. I know this one was a little bit longer. It's mainly because I'm trying out the new whiteboard theory. But anyway, this is where I give a small plug for donations. This is a completely free service. You are not required to pay a single cent. However, this is how I kind of fund my triathlons and my gear and stuff like that. Very thankfully, I'm a civil engineer. I design swimming pools for a living and fake rock work. Business has been very good during this COVID time, so this money is not going towards feeding my family. Don't feel obligated because you're like, oh crap, this guy's trying to feed his family. No, this is going to purchasing all the upgrades, paying for the upgrades I just made to my bike. So yeah, so if you have the ability, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll be sending a Venmo link in the Facebook Messenger. By totally yes, I will not be posting this video to anywhere else. So yeah, typically I charge about $20 for a half-hour session in a pool. If you can donate more, fantastic. And hey, if you cannot donate, any feedback would be greatly appreciated. That's really all I'm hoping for is feedback. And hey, if you can pitch in a few bucks to the Triathlon Fund, rock on. So anyway, Erica, thank you so much for sending this footage in. I hope this will help you. If there's any questions on anything, and if you want me to kind of further explain one of the objects, one of the topics, and if there was something you just flat out went straight over your head, just please let me know. I'll refilm it. No extra whatever. I don't care. I sit and do this as a hobby at night. So, you know, just being able to pop in and do another video like this, totally no problems whatsoever. But anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope this definitely helps you. And until later, good night, Isaiah Norris, wherever you are. Thanks again, Erica, for sending your footage, and I will see you later. Good night.